Okay, let's get started. Let me stop the music. This song, Aseel can probably share maybe some more details about it, but what he shared with me was it's a very popular song in that culture. So but yeah, let's get started. I'll kick it off. I just wanted to spend just a few minutes kind of providing a little bit of context as to what this is and why we're doing it. And so again, I appreciate all of you for just humoring us and entertaining us as we kind of try this out. But yeah, so welcome again. I hope all of you are having a good start this year to 2021. And I understand, yeah, some people are kind of in quarantine. Some people are about to travel. So I'm glad people are kind of still in this like exploratory state. And there's some people may know, but there's also another event happening in Iraq, not quite as important as this, but as this event that you're all on right now. But I hear that the Pope is visiting, but but yeah, I think this is actually the more popular event. So I think you're in the right place. So yeah, I just wanted to say it's been a pretty crazy past year, I think, for all of us. And because we've had to be apart, especially from our friends and our family, for most of us, we're even more excited that we can at least all kind of connect here, both friends as well as strangers and new friends as well. So again, just some brief context on what we're doing. My name is Alex, and some friends and I a while ago had started this project called Karibu, which means welcome in Swahili. So along those lines, what our goal was to really kind of make people feel welcomed, and to make cultures and the rest of this world feel a little bit more familiar by bringing kind of people together through human connection, through a little bit more understanding about culture, and to also get a deeper sense of the community that we live in. Before the pandemic, what we would used to do is that we would host live in-person sessions that were kind of like salons. So people would come, people from different cultures would come and share about their stories. So like things that they loved about their home country, points of interest, places they love to eat back at home, and the best ways to experience it. And what would happen is, like, for example, I live in San Francisco. And so we have a lot of people from all over the world who are here, and they would also share about their journey to San Francisco, their journey to the US, and what that experience was like, what were some of the cultural differences that they encountered. And what we would also do is, as they shared in this kind of salon-like format, they would also have a hands-on activity that was culturally relevant, so like cooking or crafts or something. So you're learning something, and you're also immersing yourself in some kind of cultural experience, but also getting to know each other a little bit on a deeper level. So for example, the idea was that, let's say you're traveling to another country, you're traveling to somewhere like Nepal, or maybe in this case, Iraq. You could sign up for a session and actually learn from someone who actually grew up there, and it can almost help you plan for that trip. And the added benefit is that that's someone now who lives in the same community, same town as you. So you can always talk to them. You could always see them and get to know them as well. It's not just someone you would meet while you're traveling, but they actually live in your same town. So when the pandemic hit, that obviously kind of changed some of our plans. And so what we've been doing for the past couple months it's just been trying out this new thing. Obviously it's virtual, like all things these days. But the other thing is that it's cross-border. So where you can still explore another culture, but also get to know other people from other communities, just virtually. So, but by doing this, we still want to stick to our mission and our goal of trying to make the world a little bit more welcoming and familiar. And so this is obviously especially relevant as people have just felt pretty isolated. And as I understand, most of the people who are here today, they all normally would be traveling together. As I hear from Yan, you kind of go on these trips, or most of you at least know each other as well. And so I think like this kind of is the added experiment right now, where we're trying to bring together people from a lot of different places too. So that's something that obviously we couldn't do when we were live and in person. So again, I thank you all for just signing up for this, for humoring us, for taking a bit of your time, especially for Connie and Dennis, as I understand, who are about to go on a trip. So I thank you again as you're spending your time. Again, this is all an experiment. It's and we're just kind of doing this to kind of see how it goes. There may be some power and internet issues, so just a little bit of tolerance for that would help. And we've done a few of these, and each of them have kind of been a little bit unique in their own way. The best analogy I can think of is that it's almost kind of like a potluck. The experience is as good as, it's not all on just like who the speaker is, in this case Aseel, but also the questions and the conversations that we all bring to it. And so yeah, this idea of a potluck is kind of like the best analogy I can actually think of. But yeah, with that, our guide is very excited to share about his home village in Iraq, as well as one of the recent kind of Christmas celebrations that they had in their community. So the quick outline for today is he'll give an intro about himself. He'll share about where he grew up in Al-Qush. And then he'll share about a few events that have kind of taken place on almost a global scale that's also like globally relevant. And then the idea for this was, and initially the original idea was that because we couldn't travel during the holidays, we wanted to kind of see how other cultures and other cities might have been experiencing kind of the end of the year with Christmas or even New Year. And so he'll throw in kind of pictures of how they celebrated Christmas with his community, with his company even. And then throughout the whole time, if you have questions, feel free to enter them in chat, or even unmute yourself and feel free to ask a question if you want. But we want to keep this informal. We want to keep it conversational. So yeah, we invite you to participate. So yeah, with that, Aseel, I'll hand it off to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Welcome, everyone. Well to see you here, and to introduce myself. Bshena. So I need you, everyone, to tell this, or to say this word in language. It means hello. Yes, good, Jan.
Chin up. Chin up.
Bshena.
Chin up.
Yeah,
Shena.
everyone, come on.
Shena.
Shana.
Good infinity.
Shana.
Hello. Yeah.
Shena.
Thank you. Good. Yeah. So welcome again. Welcome from all over the world. I don't know if you can tell me from which country each one is attending this conversation.
I'm in Canada right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're in China.
China, welcome.
We are in New York.
Welcome. And I have to turn off the video because the connection will be much better. Sorry, guys. Okay, so today we are are celebrating as a Christian. So we are celebrating just like a mondial we have here in Iraq. It was a Pope visit. It's a good support for the vulnerable people, for the minorities like us, because I am Aseel, considered as one of the minorities. Aseel Ismail Anthony. I grew up in Al-Qosh. Till then, I moved to Mosul, Nineveh University, Mosul University. I graduated from College of Education in 2005, Department of English. So I practiced my career as English teacher, plus working in the humanitarian sector with the NGOs, too many different national NGOs occupying different positions like translator, coordinator, project manager, trainer, different positions since 2005 and 6. What I'm interested I'm interested in picnics, trips, and discovering new cultures, different cultures from all over the world. If you can see, it's away from the Hook. The Hook is the place where do I live now, because since 2005, when I graduated, I moved to Kurdistan. Kurdistan is a part of Iraq. It's a territory of Iraq. It's in the north of Iraq, actually, which is ruled by the Kurdish people. It's much safer than the other parts of Iraq, especially for the minorities, especially for the persecuted minorities, persecuted Christians. So 2005, I moved to the Hook. I worked and lived here. Then in 2012, I married. I have 2 kids in the Hook. So I work here. Excuse me. Let me check again. Let me see. Okay, yes. So, but of course, I don't forget Al-Qosh. I love Al-Qosh. I have big love to Al-Qosh because it's my city. It's a famous historical city. There is too many archaeological places in Al-Qosh, which has thousands, and some of them have 1,400 years ago, and others have 2,000 and 3,000 years ago. So Al-Qosh was founded before Christ, before Christianity, which we have Nahum, prophets, which is mentioned in the Bible, Tomb of Nahum. It's there since before Christ. We will come through in. So make sure from the sound, is it okay, Alex?
Yeah, the
Everything's okay?
sound, it's okay. It kind of goes out a little bit, but yeah, I understand that there's just probably some internet issues as well. But
Okay.
I think you went back a
Okay.
slide. Can you go back to the Al-Qosh slide?
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, so go, yeah, to the
So-
next, yeah, there you go.
Guys, you feel free before I would like to give you a hint, whenever you want to share or to know anything or to have a visit, you have my Facebook, you have my YouTube to know more about Al-Qosh. My YouTube channel, I sometimes post something about Al-Qosh and the life and the culture in the Al-Qosh and the villages around Al-Qosh. Al-Qosh considered as a town, not a big city and not a village. It's a town which 1,160 families, households, and about 4,000 individuals persons. Okay. Here is the entrance of Al-Qosh. And you can see the Al-Qosh from the satellite picture. Here is the GPS coordinates. This is the top view or the coordinates satellite picture of Al-Qosh. If you can see how is the city, if you can see from the right hand the monastery, there is Hermes Monastery, there is Lady Monastery. Okay, and if you can go to the up north, if you see this sign of star, Jewish star, of Religious Institute, it's synagogue of Nahum, Theon Nahum. It calls a synagogue for Jewish people. Those Jewish people, as you know, are found in Iraq about 3,000 years ago, when the captivity in the Old Testament, when the kings of Caldian from Babel and occupied Jerusalem in 3,500 years ago, when they bring them as slaves to Iraq at that time, to the Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia at that time, there was no Iraq, was Mesopotamia, was ruled by Assyrian Empire in Nineveh and the Chaldean Empire in Babel city. So they remained in Iraq and in many cities in Kurdistan. You can see a lot of heritage sites and a lot of villages which belongs to people till now, and they are starting to visit their places, their villages from time to time. They are coming to Kurdistan. Here do I live, in the Hook. So it takes 40 minutes driving to Al-Qosh, down south, 40 kilometers. Yeah, it's about 40 kilometers away. Driving about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. It's very lovely, interesting way. You can go. There's two ways. One of them can go through the mountain, and the other one is on a flat area to go to Al-Qosh. Okay. Oh, here there is written Al-Qosh from in the mountain. Al-Qosh is on the mountain, in the front of the mountain. One of the old person, one of the old guy, he already write on the rocks, and there's carvings. He do carvings, so he write the name in Syriac language, because the people in Al-Qosh talks Syriac or Aramic, the old Aramic. Now we call it Syriac language. People there are Assyrian Chaldean people, which is they're all Catholic. All of them are Catholic. All of them are Christian, pure Christian. But the villages which belong to Al-Qosh, there is different ethnic groups belongs to Al-Qosh. There is about 50 villages belong to the Al-Qosh municipality. Al-Qosh considered a sub-district. There is Yazidi. There are Arabs villages. There are also other Christian villages belongs to Al-Qosh, which Al-Qosh municipality, Al-Qosh mayor, ruling and directing these villages, because it's considered sub-district. So here, which on the place we call it Karze or Karze. It's in the north of Al-Qosh, north side of Al-Qosh. It's written Al-Qosh in my native language. Did you see the native language here? It's called Al-Qosh. Here, the top of you, the cross. Here, Al-Qosh is doing some constructions for 1 year ago, doing some construction work here, paving the road. And here is the night also after finishing some projects which was funded by USAID NGO. was contributing in construction and reconstruction of some projects in Al-Qush, just like the lightning, the roads, especially the old town. Because if you can see in the top side or in the north side of Al-Qush, it's the old one. The old one was in the north. Now, because of the modern people and cars, so the people are going to move their homes in the downside of the city because the roads are much wider for the cars. Here, snow, when the snow comes from Al-Qush, you can see we enjoy the snow every time when it comes to Al-Qush. Especially the kids enjoying because they don't go to schools. The schools shut down. No, the kids are enjoying going out and playing in the snow. Here the New Year's slide. The New Year's slide. Here is this was last year. People celebrating in the New Year. So this is a celebration of New Year in Al-Qush. This is how people celebrate the New Year in Al-Qush at the midnight. Here is the side view of Al-Qush. This is the side view of the city. And if you see the right picture, it's old Al-Qush. One of the guy which initiate a model village of Al-Qush, because all Al-Qush before it was on the mountain, and after this was 100 years ago or 150 years ago. So now it's not founded anymore. So a guy from Al-Qush, which comes to his mind to bring up or to re-innovate this village when it was before. So he started to do the model or the sample of old Al-Qush, which we called Al-Qush Al-Taqta. Okay. Any question till now?
So it sounds like, does anyone live in old Al-Qush, or is it just kind of all just a model for people to see?
Yeah, it's just for visiting and to see the model of Al-Qush. There is too many tradition life. People are baking in traditional way, people are living in traditional way. They do some presentation or sometimes events, sometimes a show. So people, how do they bake, how do they work, how do they go to market, how do they live at that time? Okay, so too many comes and do the reports and reports about this village, about this site. There is also some animals. They are using very traditional way. They are keeping this tradition. I mean, transportation ways, devices, and the lifestyle. You see, here is Al-Qush at Al-Qush, old Al-Qush. Here is the riding horses, and this is presenting how the way of living. Here is the sideway. Here on the left hand, you see here we celebrate in the day of cross. We celebrate in the top at the same slide before of slides before. We called Karze. So we celebrate there in the memorial day of cross. Each year we celebrate. Each day we celebrate in 13th of September, 13th and 14th of September. We celebrate the cross day. Here are the dates. Here are the dates of one of the three. I wanted to share it with you guys. So Iraq is famous with the dates. Oh, the melon. The melon is very famous. Our melon is very famous in the area. It's very delicious melon. I hope that one day to come, and in the summer, actually in the summer, in July and August. July and August, you can see the melon of Al-Qosh. It's very famous here in Duhok, in Nineveh also. We call it Al-Qosh melon. People are preserving these seeds, and they keep planting generation by generations this kind of melon, and it's very delicious, very famous in the area. So it's very, whenever you go and say Al-Qosh melon, it's very familiar. So it's really tasty one. I hope one day I can give you one melon. Try to one melon of Al-Qosh.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, go ahead.
No, I was saying me too. I hope to try it someday too.
Here's a top view. Here's a top view of Al-Qosh from the drone. You see, it's a quite big enough. It's quite big enough. What do you think? So here, the wild animals at Hermes Monastery. The Hermes Gully, or the Hermes Monastery, we are going to go through this monastery. This monastery gully, it's a kind of preserved gully, so you can find a lot of kind of animals and birds, foxes in this gully, because the monastery administration don't allow people to shoot or to kill to hunt, sorry, the birds and the animals. So we can see many kind of animals in this valley or in this gully. You can see here the owl monastery. This is the owl, and this is pigeons. When I go to Al-Qosh at the weekends, I go early morning to the gully and spend hours and just listening to the birds singing and watching birds, watching animals coming down and go through this gully, through this monastery. Here is the gate of monastery. That was through the snow. Here is the gate. Okay, the gate of monastery can go, and here is the way on the right hand, the way to Hermes Monastery. Here is the way. It's nice, and you can go through car. You can go by walking to the Hermes Monastery. Okay, here Al-Qosh, hiking the mountain. This time during the spring, it's the best time to visit because the weather is very nice. You can climb the mountain, you can hike the mountains. Actually, me and friends and family, we are planning to do the hiking trip in the next week to some places behind the mountain. Before there a city, now it's abandoned city, or our village, actually, not city, a village. It's abandoned one. So we go behind that mountain and spend hours enjoying time hiking on that abandoned buildings and abandoned village. We call it Bisqin. Okay. On the right hand, the Memorial Day of Hermes Monastery. We have each year, we have Memorial Day in the Hermes Monastery. Hermes Monastery is a very old monk. It was monastery monk. Was built in 640. It's about 1,400 years ago. So each year we celebrate in the Memorial Day. So the people go out and do picnics and having barbecues, dancing, celebrating in this Memorial Day.
What,
Here
what,
at the road of Al-Qur.
what is Memorial Day? What day does it
Hello?
come?
Okay.
Aseel,
Yes.
did you hear the question? Aseel, did you hear the
No.
question? He was saying,
No.
he was saying, what day is Memorial Day?
It depends on Easter. It's 15 days after Easter. So Easter is changing. It's not like Christmas, you know. Easter is changing each year. So it's 15 days. The Sunday after Easter, not the next Sunday, the next after.
Okay, 2 weeks after.
After the next Sunday, 15 days after Easter.
Okay.
Exactly 2 weeks after Easter. Exactly.
Okay.
All right. This is one of the old neighborhoods and roads in Al-Qosh. Okay. Here is the mountain. This was. Do you see here? It was the old. It was prepared. It was an old garden or an old garden in Al-Qosh. Before it was when the people were working there. Here is me and the family. Here is me in front of one of the sculptures in Nahum. This was actually very long time ago. You see the long hair. It was in 2005 or 6 in Nahum tomb synagogue. Here is me participating in one of the American corner, the Hook University. The Black History Month was in 2 weeks ago, or a week ago. It was held by the U.S. Consulate, Erbil, General Consulate in Erbil, and prepared by the American corner, the Hook University, the city that I live. Here is the U.S. General Consul visiting Al-Qosh. Actually, the U.S. U.S. General Consul, and the U.S. Embassy visiting Al-Qosh couple times in a year. Here is visiting the Hermes Monastery. You see Saint Hermes Monastery? Okay, and then they come to Al-Qosh many times. Plus, here, if you can see, it was in 10th February. Also, Al-Qosh, the tomb of Nahum, was 10th February. This is the contribution of funding the project of reconstruction or renovation of this synagogue. This was funded by U.S. government and U.S. aid, and this is funding Nahum tomb to renovation. Here is other tomb. Here is the U.S. General himself, Consul at the tomb. You see, here is the tomb of Nahum, and here watching this sculpture. Here is down view of the Hermes Monastery. It's in the mountain. It was if you can see, it's very difficult to go through. They were in that time when they were building their chapel. They were building in the very difficult places to be reached because it was persecuted. You know, persecuted about 1,500 years ago, 1,400 years ago. So the monks. There was persecution by the other tribes, by the other people. There were wars in the area. Here, the U.S. General visiting Al-Qosh on 10th of February. Here, providing the solar panels to the farm. Okay, providing the solar panels to the farm. Also, he visited the Lady Monastery. Here at the farm, providing the solar panels. On the right, discussing the challenges and new opportunities. How can the U.S. Council helping people or overcoming these challenges that's faced by the place like Al-Qosh, which was hosted about 500 families during the ISIS attack since 2014 till 2018, 2019. Okay. So their aftermath, they're discussing the challenges with the priests from the monastery. Here, a hidden cave, we call it hidden cave. There is a hidden cave inside the monastery. It's a very deep way to go through under the mountain. And they were praying, before they were praying here through the persecution period. Persecution of Christianity period. Here is the church bell. Okay, U.S. consul here visiting the mayor. We have a wonderful mayor in Al-Qosh. She's a lady called Lara Zara. She's a very wonderful lady, and always they have support from the U.S. German consul in Erbil, and many other consuls from Europe, consuls in Erbil. They have support to discuss the challenges, the issues for the reconstruction, and bring for the vulnerable people aftermath. Here, if you see the temple gate, here is the temple gate. It's written here, the language on the gate, it's in Syriac language. We call it Syriac language. I don't know if anybody has any idea about the Aramic language or Syriac language. Do you?
No.
Oh, it's very old language, thousands of years ago. Have you seen the movie of Passion of Christ, Mel Gibson? They use this kind of words, some words in the movie. So they talk the same language. Cave here. I like this cave very much. I always go and sit down in this cave for meditation. Yeah. I like this cave and just meditating and looking the view from this cave. Sometimes bringing a tea or coffee with me. It's very big inside. It has very nice view, especially when the rain comes and you go inside and just drink the tea.
I have another question. Does it rain a lot in that area, or it's very infrequent?
Sorry?
Does it rain a lot?
Sorry?
Did you
Do
hear
you
that?
get a lot of rain in Al-Qosh?
Yeah.
What seasons or what months, what time of the year?
During the winter, yeah.
In the winter? Okay.
Yeah, during the winter, sometimes in spring. Yeah. Because we need rain, because we plant the wheat and barley. Here, the gate of one of them most famous houses belongs to the chief in like 150 years ago. You know, the life where there for each village or for each town they have a chief. So this house belongs to the chief of the Alqosh, or the head of Alqosh. It's called Reshana. Reshana, it means the chief, or so this was his house. This is the gate. It's a very old gate, all sculptures, and if you can see, very old one. And now here, the main point of the presentation, it was talking about the Christmas, how the preparation for the Christmas in Alqosh. Here is the ladies. We start the Christmas in a week before. We start doing some cookies, call it koleche. Koleche is very famous cookie in Alqosh. Every house should do this kind of cookie in Alqosh. If someone didn't do this kind of koleche in Alqosh, so it's considered that very well in the Christmas or in the Easter as well. So we should do koleche. Each house should do a koleche in Alqosh. kids participating in making college, you see, because all the time the kids coming to the mom and asking for help. So sometimes they do a separated table and to go to keep kids away and keep them busy, don't bothering the mothers and the ladies who's making kaleche. You see their staff there enjoying doing kaleche. Here is kaleche, very delicious, ready to eat. Here
What is kaleche?
kids are participating with kaleche. Yes. Hello, Alex. Yes.
I think Ashwin asked what is kalechi? Like what goes inside of the dessert?
Yes, Ashwin. Okay. Shall I continue?
Yeah, I was just wondering what kalechi is. What is it made of? It's a dessert.
Sorry. It is cookies. We can, maybe we can consider dessert. Yeah. It's a stuffed with dates, sometimes with walnut, coconut, any kinds of simsim, stuffed with many kind of things.
Cool, thanks.
It depends on which your favorite flavor. Okay. Here the kids doing because the church are not big to be able to all the people of Alqosh to fit in the mass, Christmas mass. So they do Christmas mass and the Christmas play of Christmas to the kids. This is before the big Christmas mass for the adult. They do the Christmas and some events for the kids before the Christmas big mass or the Christmas mass for the adults in the Christmas. Here is one of the actors acting during the Jesus birth, Yeah, this is during the night, and here is it's like Joseph. I think this is Joseph and Mary during the play.
So the main
here are some kids. Sorry.
The main religion in Al-Qush is Christianity.
Yes.
Okay, but many parts of Iraq, it is Islam, obviously, right?
Yeah, the other parts of Iraq there is Islam. There are Yazidi. There are another minority religion. They call Yazidi.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question, guys? Hello. Okay, I continue. This is the activities after, before Christmas or pre-Christmas activities. Here at my work at the NGO, I work. We do a Secret Santa and put it here for each one. Secret Santa, we put it in a Christmas tree at the work. And before Christmas in a day, we gather and open these gifts, and we should discover which one will bring me a gift and which to whom I get the gift. This is called Secret Santa. It's interesting. Since I work in a Christian NGO, because I worked with a Christian NGO, that's why we practice. Otherwise, it depends on the place that you work. It's not popular in every place of work. But because I worked in a Christian NGO, that's why we did this. We celebrated the Christmas. Here also, this is my gift. This is me with the gift. I got a sweater this year. Sweater. Okay. Here we celebrate because we got for the 1 week, sometimes 2 weeks off from the work. Here we before the Christmas, before the vacation or off, we do the celebration or staff excursion by the NGO that I work. They do the excursion for the whole staff. Okay, relaxing from the work and time pressure. Here is the mass, Christmas night mass for the adult. This mass is acted in at midnight. Here is the father, and then doing the mass. This is the Christmas Eve dinner. This is the dinner after the mass. When we come back, we have this kind of huzi. We call it huzi. Okay. The day of the morning, the favorite meal in Christmas, pacha. We call it pacha. It's very famous, and almost every house they eat this kind of meal in the Christmas and the Easter. So sorry, we call it pacha. It's stuffed with rice. You know, it's a very fat meal.
Aseel, yeah, what is pacha made of?
It's stuffed with the rice that I forget the testicle in English. We call it the
intestine.
Sorry,
intestine.
Exactly. Intestine stuffed with the rice. Yeah, thank you, Alex. Yeah. So it's stuffed with the rice and with the meat. And with some spices and actually I'm not good with cooking. My wife and mother and brother are good with cooking. So they made it. I'm good with eating. I'm very good with eating. Yeah.
I think a lot of us
with
are
cooking, no. Sorry.
We are too.
We are. Yes, we are all good at eating.
Good. Okay, good. Well, okay. So here is the rest of the pacha, because we do the head of lamb and the legs of the lamb. You see, a lot of meat, a lot of fat. Yeah, we get too much weight at the Christmas time. Yeah, we broke the law. We broke every exercise. There is after Christmas or Christmas Day, open or Boxing Day. Here is my daughter and my mother. They're having their Christmas. She's having her Christmas gift. Angelina, my daughter Angelina. This is Angelina. Actually, with the slides, the last few slides, it's the tradition that we do in Al-Qosh. Every people they do, or almost we can say they do this kind of meals and this kind of events, practicing this kind of activities in a Christmas time. Here we visit the places that's done by the church, by the associations and the NGOs doing where the model of this birth, and here is some written in Assyric or Syriac language. My native language. Because as I told you, I speak Arabic, Kurdish, but it's in acquisition language, but my mother language is Syriac language. Here's me and my wife go visiting the places that in the Christmas day, during the Christmas days. Sometimes during the holidays or during the Christmas, I get up early morning and go up to the mountain and spend time with the people in the Hermes Monastery. This is Hermes Monastery. Spend time with the guards there, with the friends there, and early morning. Yeah, I go there and spend time till 9 and 10 o'clock. It's really very calm place, very nice place to spend time in. And here it is. My birthday is on 1st of January every year, and this is the end of Christmas. After that, head on the work and everything back again to the normal life. And on the right, this is the sculpture in this Hebrew language. This is not the Syriac language. This is Hebrew language, which is found in the synagogue. Okay. And this is the last of the presentation. So I hope you enjoy this presentation. I hope that you have a more clear ideas about my place, or make a clear vision about my place, when I grow up, where do I grow up, and let me know if you have any question, anything that you want to know. I'm ready. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, can you share about why the Pope's visit is significant and why he, as the only place, his only visit during COVID with such high risks, why did he choose to go to like Mosul and Erbil area? And I guess because you mentioned earlier that in other places, the religion is like Yazidi and Islam, but in Kurdistan, it's majority Christian. What is the historical basis for that? And maybe you can stop sharing screen so we can all see each other.
Sorry, your question, why the Pope visit?
Yeah, sorry, that was really long. Why did
Iraq, or why the Pope visit Baghdad and Assyria?
Why did the Pope choose to visit Iraq right now? And why is Christianity a big religion in Kurdistan?
And also,
actually, the people.
Aseel, Yan had a suggestion. Maybe you can stop sharing screen now, so we can all actually see each other too. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. So maybe the people who's in the down need much more support than the people in the Kurdistan, because the Kurdistan life is very stable. The people here is very stable, and they are not vulnerable, just like in the people in Nineveh, because the people in Nineveh are suffered a lot from Daesh attack, incursion, and they lost their houses, their homes, their villages, their positions, their jobs. So the people there need much more support. They're really vulnerable people. So aftermath, they have many challenges. So plus the visit, he's visiting in Nineveh, one of the cities which is the most biggest city in population of the Catholic city, the most biggest Catholic city in Iraq, which is called Karakosh or Baghdadi or Hamdania. It's between Mosul and Erbil, but it belongs to Mosul. Mosul, Nineveh. We called Mosul, we called Nineveh at the same time. I don't know if you have any idea about Mosul and Nineveh. So he's visiting also Kurdistan, Erbil. Tomorrow he will be in Erbil. He will meet the people in the stadium, in Francis Hariri Stadium in Erbil, and he will visit Ankawa in a quick way. He will do a tour in Ankawa also. You see, that's why I think he visits the people
this it?
in the liberated people. Yeah.
Yeah, is this where it is, Aseel? Mosul.
Shika, the right, Bashtabia, Karakosh. Yeah, Karakosh. It's here. It's here. Yeah.
Okay.
This
That's
is
where the
Mosul. This is Karakosh. Yes. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Badush. Yeah.
Yeah, how far is it from Al-Qush?
Karakosh. It is far from Alqosh. Yeah, it's about 1 hour
That's-
driving, more than, yeah.
Yeah.
Karakosh. Yeah. Mhm.
So if we were to visit, would we fly into like Mosul or Erbil?
No. If you plan to visit, okay, if you plan to visit, you'll fly to Erbil Airport.
Okay. Can you zoom out a little bit more, Alex, so we can
See where Erbil is.
Yeah. You'll fly to Erbil Airport, and
I see. Okay.
in the west of in the east of Duhok.
Yeah.
And you're in Duhok, just north of
East north, yeah, of Duhok. And yes, exactly. Yeah, thank you, Alex, for sharing. Yeah.
And can you just, for context, show us like how that like relates to Baghdad and the surrounding countries?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me how do you spell it? Yeah, there we go.
You just can't fly to Erbil. Erbil Airport. Erbil is very, very big city, famous city, and with nice places, hotels and restaurants, and
So Baghdad, yeah,
museum.
yeah, you're saying it's much further
Mm.
south. So
Yeah, much further south. It's in the middle of Iraq.
yeah.
Would we
Baghdad is
be
the-
able to drive around the country?
Sorry, you'll be able to drive from
Around the country to different places?
In Kurdistan, yes. In Kurdistan, yes, you can drive. But if you want to go to Iraq, you need a visa. You have to issue visa.
Would it be
Apply for-
safe? Is it if we got a visa and we visited, can we would we be able to like rent a car and just drive around?
Yeah, yeah. You can rent a car and drive around. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But as I told you, in Kurdistan, and the people here are very friendly and very cooperative, are understandable. They can, because we used to receive foreign peoples, we used to receive tourists from all over the world. There are too many international companies and international NGOs here, works here in Kurdistan, live here in Kurdistan. So we used to have since 90s, in the middle of the 90s, and since 2003, 2005. So we are very familiar with the tourists. I have some friends also there touring, and they come back to the Hook, to Al-Qosh, and visiting the places around Al-Qosh. Also, they go to Nineveh sometimes.
And just to follow up on my
We get the permission for them.
Sorry, I guess there's a lag.
Sorry.
You can finish what you were saying, and then my other question was just why is Christianity a major religion in Kurdistan?
It's not the major religion in Kurdistan. Islam is the majority of Kurdistan.
Is it just like specific communities? There are specific communities that are Christian.
Yes, yes. Some specific areas, some specific communities are Christian, and some others are mixed between Yazidi and Kurdish and Arab and Christians. So it depends. It's in between, yeah.
How did
But you know, during since 2005 and during
sorry,
since,
Aseel.
yeah, since 2005, since the persecution of Christianity in Baghdad, too many families, too many people fled to Kurdistan because it's a safe area, secure area to live, and you can live in coexistence and in a peace. And they established their life here again. They established their jobs here again, and they started their life in Kurdistan, as I told you, because of the security, because of the peaceful and coexistence between the people here in Kurdistan. You see, so that's why you can see the people, Christian people, are found in Kurdistan much more bigger population than Baghdad.
I see.
It's Baghdad. It's sometimes risky, kind of risky. Yeah.
Maybe I can add
Yes.
something here. There used to be 1.5 million Christians in Iraq before 2004 and 2010. But many of these Christians fled to the United States, to Europe. And they think today there are maybe 125 to 200,000 Christians left. And most of them are in Kurdistan.
Oh,
so it's still a minority. It's still a really few.
Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Before the war, or before 2003, before liberation, Operation Freedom, the Christian in Iraq were about 1,500,000, 1,400,000 people. But after year, about the sectarianism and the persecution of Christianity in Baghdad, in the south cities, Basra. And in 2009 and 10, there were too many persecution for the Christian in Nineveh. Plus, the biggest attack, the major attack, was in 2014 through ISIS attack in the Nineveh plain. We call it Nineveh plain. It's down from Al-Qush and the other villages and towns down Nineveh. It's Nineveh plain. It's a very big area which found inhabited by the majority. It's by the minority people, inhabited by minority people like Christian, Yazidi, Shabak, Kakai. So they all left this Nineveh plain and they fled away to Kurdistan, some of them, and others they fled away to America and Europe, Australia, Canada. So yeah, now the Christianity population is about 250,000, less than quarter of the before the war, before 2003. You see?
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, this is because of the terrorists.
Yeah. Hi, Ashwin, I think you had a question, right?
Oh yeah, I was just curious how like where the, because, well, I think you answered my question in your explanation, so I'll chime in a minute with a different question.
Yeah, go ahead. Your article.
Well, could I ask a different question?
Context.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ian, for sharing the article. Yeah. Yeah,
hey,
actually, it's
Aseel.
historical visit. Yeah.
Hey, Aseel, I was wondering if you could just share a little bit about, obviously there was a lot of turmoil over the last couple of decades. If you could just share a little bit more about how that was, what the experience was with the war and the impact on your community. That would be interesting to me.
Sorry, to share what
Just a little bit about the war,
exactly, please.
the war and the impact on your community.
You know, every war impacts all the communities, because the people, they have to move and to find out a much more peaceful area, and to find the new places to live. So this is a really big challenge for the families. One of the biggest challenge, like they move their kids from the schools to the where they used to be, to the another schools. Many people losing their jobs and doing what they are doing for the life, for living. They have to find out new jobs and new homes. So it's not easy for the people. So this is affected to the community. So many people, they don't have the trust in the Iraqi government of protecting them from the attacks, terrorist attack, just like ISIS in 2014 and the persecution before in 2009 and 10. So they try to find out a way to flee away from Iraq, to immigrate to the Europe or America, Canada, Australia. So actually, this affects the community. Many villages now, we can see many villages, Christian villages, they're full empty, even here in Kurdistan or Nineveh plain, from their own inhabitant, because all the villages entire village people left their village and fled away to Europe, to America, which actually this impacted in a very, we can say, negative way on the community here, on the diversity of Iraq, diversity of people of Iraq. You see, is that enough?
Yeah, that makes sense. I have related to that. There was a lot of controversy in the U.S. when the U.S. withdrew its troops from that part of Iraq, because it felt to a lot of Americans that we were betraying the Kurdish people. How is that something that you're aware of, or how people viewed that decision? Maybe it might help to just type it also.
Yeah, like it sounds like we asked.
The
Go
question.
ahead. Go ahead, Aseel. Sorry.
Okay. Are you asking of the betrayed of the security forces to the people?
Yeah, when America pulled away its troops, was that seen as a betrayal? And how did people feel about the U.S. after that?
Betrayal from U.S. or betrayal from the local security forces?
From the U.S. or by the U.S.?
I have no idea. I haven't heard this before. There was any betrayal from the U.S. Maybe this kind of rumors you can hear in other places, but not in Kurdistan. Maybe in down north of Iraq. I haven't heard this kind, because protecting the country is the responsibility of Iraqi government, not any other government.
And I think maybe you
or
are
the local forces.
Syria. The United States was abandoning Syria.
Was it
Syria and not the Kurds in Iraq?
Yeah, maybe I think you're not in Iraq, no. Yeah.
Right. It was the Kurdish groups in Syria, but I was just wondering if that was, I forgot that it was on the Syrian side of the border, but I was wondering if that's something that was still seen by Kurdish people in the region as a betrayal, but it sounds like maybe not.
I have no idea about Syria. What's their perception about this?
Is there interaction between Kurdish
I can't tell you
community, or
what's their-
is there a similarity in the Kurdish community in the different countries, or do they have very distinct cultures and societies now because of the borders?
Kurdish community. There is Kurdish community in Syria as well. Yeah.
Is it similar to the Kurdish
And in
community?
Turkey and in Iran. Yeah. And
Yeah. Is it similar to the Kurdish community in Iraq?
Is
Or
it?
there? Yeah. Is a Kurdish community in
what?
Syria? Yeah. Is the Kurdish community in Syria? Is it similar to the Kurdish community in Iraq?
Kind of. Yeah. Kind of. With a very small, not the major, minor differences.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, but there
Are there a lot of relationships or
Yeah.
communication between them?
Kind of. There is, camps of Syrian refugee in Iraq since 2011 and 12, since the Syrian crisis started and the Syrian war,
Mm.
civil war started. There is camps in Iraq. Mhm. It's considered as a one community, as a one nation, and it is actually one nation. They're all Kurds,
Mhm.
Also, there is Assyrian in Syria, Assyrian people, Chaldean people also in Syria. There is a relationships between some families here in Kurdistan, Kurdistan of Iraq, and the families in Kurdistan of Syria. So they contact with each other, and there is relationships between the families. It's considered as a one nation.
Hmm.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
I see John asked a question in the chat, asking about what kind of industries of work are popular in the region, and it also has the decline in tourism impacted, the community.
How has the decline of tourism impacted the?
Yeah.
Now. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. How has there been a decline? Has there been an impact due to the decline in tourism? But also what are just popular areas of popular types of work?
Sorry, what do you mean exactly? Has the tourism impact of what?
Impact the community.
Yeah. The tourism is impacting the community too much, and the governments or actually, at least here in Kurdistan, are pushing a lot of the to activate much more wider the tourism line, industry line. They're renovating the archaeological area and preparing the facilities for the tourists and tourism industrial line to be much more active in Kurdistan. Even the villages and the sites which belong to the minorities, like Christian and Yazidi and other minorities, are paving the roads and hiring people and to have a tour guide activating these places. Plus we have another places which we can visit for resting and having nice time, like mountains, waterfalls, rivers, parks. So the government are pushing in this industrial line.
Hmm.
much more than years before.
Yeah.
You know,
Are they preparing
yes.
for a lot of tourists after the pandemic?
I think so. I think so. They are preparing after the pandemic to have this to activate much more this in this industry line, to have much more impact in a positive way, as we are talking in a positive way on the community, on the people, and to raise up the history of the area, because you know this area is full of history, full of archaeological sites, full of its civilization. So the government is preparing, but you know the pandemic, no one knows
Yeah.
when it will end. We hope to end soon. No one knows.
Yeah.
I hope to see you one day in Al-Qosh and in Kurdistan, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I wanted to
Yes.
yeah, I think we're I want to be aware of people's time. I know people are joining from all over the world. For some people it's very late, for some people it's, very early. But yeah, I just wanted to, thank you, Aseel, for presenting. And for everyone for just like joining and participating in this conversation, learning a little bit more about Aseel. I think one of the things I've been trying to think about, we've been thinking about, is that, what would have happened because of the pandemic, that wouldn't have, what has happened, what's been unique and special during this time that just wouldn't have happened, otherwise. And I think, like, for me, I never would have previously connected with Aseel if it wasn't for, things like the pandemic. And I don't think all of us would have, connected in this kind of format either. So I think there's kind of like, something special about meeting people outside of, these borders. And also I think like learning about kind of the history and even its relevance right now with the Pope's visit. How that region is also quite relevant even today, in the midst of suffering and people, what people's experiences are over there. So yeah, Aseel, thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining as well. Yeah,
You're welcome, guys, and really happy to share this with you. It was a really very few details. I have much more things to share, much more events to share are coming during many more events during the year.
Yeah, Aseel
And
has
we
also
hope-
shared.
I hope to see you.
Aseel shared about how this is kind of like a sampling of a lot of different things. You saw a little bit about Al-Qush, you heard about some events that have happened, and then a lot about Christmas. But each one of those things, he says he could spend like, hours just kind of diving into. I remember the first time I chatted with him, it was right before Christmas, so they were making pacha right there, so we could see it. So yeah, next time maybe we can experiment with with a demonstration of making it, maybe.
Yeah, or if you have a recipe for the kolechi. I tried to Google it, but I couldn't find any.
Yeah, Aseel, if you have a recipe, you can send it. You can share with me, and then I could send it to everyone.
They are just like
That's a good idea. Yeah, why not? Happy.
Oh, infinity.
Sorry?
Or I'm not
Sorry,
sure.
Uncle. What did you say?
Oh, they are just like they make similar things, kajakaya, but I thought Ashwin knew those things. These are basically like some kind of dough. They fill it with different things, some with sesame, some with dates, some with this, some with all kinds of different things, and then make them in India. but not necessarily for Christmas, but
Maybe.
it's like, yeah.
Similar this
Yeah.
year.
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah, let's try together one day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank
We
you
would
everyone,
love it.
and yeah, and you know, best wishes on everyone who, wherever you are around the world, both you know, in quarantine as well as traveling, and or just wherever you know, wherever you're staying. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Aseel, and
Thanks a
thank
lot.
you, Alex,
Yeah.
to you and your colleagues
Thanks.
for the amazing work you're doing.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I
for
was going to
joining.
say
Yeah.
thank you, Alex,
You're welcome, guys. Thanks for
Excellent
attending
coordination.
this presentation.
and thank you, Aseel. Very excellent under the conditions that you're able to do all these. Good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.